Welcome back, everyone, to Piney Plays the Burglar. I have found Lily Garther, who appears to be the healer for the area, and let's find out if she has any remedies for a certain overindulging hobbit in my acquaintance.
Oh, you scared me.
Oh, yeah. How can I help ye? Bingo did not understand the importance of pacing himself, did he? A welcoming feast is no small thing, as I am certain we told ye time and time again. Yeah, Bingo. Yes, I can brew a tea that should help 'em to feel better, but my stock of tea leaves has gone rather low. If ye will cut several flushes of tea for me, I can brew some for poor Bingo. And take this knife of mine and look for likely plants outside the village. Cut only from the top of the plant, about half a length down from the top. 3 flushes of tea should be enough. The more fresh, the better. All right. Grab some fresh leaves with this small knife because I'm sure she didn't want me to do it with a spear. Ah, I think I found the plant that she described. Yes, here we are. Some tea. All right. Yeah. That sounds like it'll do quite well. Let's get a little bit more. Good. Any more around here? Yes. And this should be just enough, right? Yes. Perfect. Now, let's bring this back to the healer. Here you go.
What do you want, Duvodyard?
You found some. I will use these to replace the tea I brewed while you were out. It has cooled some, but it should still serve the purpose. Take this to Bingo and have him drain it dry. He should start feeling better in only a little while. All right, I will see if this does work. Very well. Now, let's see how he feels after this. After I wend my way down this road. Here, Bingo, try this.
I should not have eaten so much.
I'm glad that you came back. I should not have eaten so much. I feel terrible, but worse. I have been a poor dinner companion for Eola and Haley and Theodore. Oh, I'm quite filled to burst. Can you handle the social pleasantries for me now? I will sip on the tea that you've brought, and I hope it will help. Well, what do you say, Eola?
They say some of our kin went north long ago.
Yes, I'm from the north. Yes, the welcoming feast is one of our oldest traditions, but this is the first we have had in so many years. It has already served to bring my people closer together, and I'm glad to have shared in it with Bingo. Right? Well, what do you say, Haley?
I stopped eating days ago.
Days
You
ago.
should have done the same.
The food is very good, but I am no hobbit. I stopped eating days ago. I think encountering I hope that you mean you haven't been starving yourself for the last few days, and that you mean that you've been only eating a little. Never mind. I think encountering the dragon might have knocked some sense into Theodore, because he actually seemed to be listening to me now. He is fortunate, because otherwise he would surely be feeling as poorly as Bingo right now. Well, what do you say, Theodore, about that?
Oh, the folk of this village have been very kind.
Yes, they were kind, but the welcoming feast has not been very kind to Bingo. Haley told me I needn't sample every dish that was put in front of me, and that advice has served me well. Can you imagine what might have happened if I had not gotten rid of that Rothstone? Some cruel food related mishap, I'm sure of it. Well, okay. I'm not going to go against what he said right now.
I have finished the tea, but it didn't help.
No. Can you go back and see if there's anything that might help? I know I shouldn't have eaten so much, but it all looks so good. Maybe you could rest a little while and it'll pass eventually, shall we say? Now, let's see. What about. Ah, there she is. It seemed like it didn't do quite enough.
Oh, you scared me.
Oh, the tea did not make Bingo feel better? Hmm. I think the tea was too cold, Petronella. I have a fresh pot of tea brewing on the milestone fire just there. If we bring it to him and have him drink it before it cools, I think Bingo will find it the truest remedy for his ailment. But you must be quick. The tea will cool rapidly, so you will need to carry it swiftly to him. Oh, best use of a milestone yet. That's what I gotta say. Some hot mint tea. There you go. Made from mint. All right, there we go. Would have been a very poor time to. And I hope he doesn't try to drink the entire pot. Let me try it again. Look at that. I was just 1 millisecond off and the tea cooled down. Boy, you've got to be really, really. Oh, she has another pot all nice and ready just in case I was a bit slow on this. No, 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 don't do that. All right, let's be quick. Be quick. Be quick. Pine, be quick. My goodness gracious. Here you go, Bingo. Hot tea. Yay.
Ah, that is a little better.
Yes, I think this tea is helping. I do not regret enjoying all those courses, but I think I'm glad to see the end of the welcoming feast. It does put me in a mind of my home, Petronella. I remember quiet evenings at my dinner table, setting in a modest dinner by the candlelight. They were lonely meals, it's true, and I would not trade my new friends for anything, but it is comforting to think of the Shire. I wonder how the old place is managing. It feels as if we just arrived and already I'm thinking of leaving. I hope Iola will not find me discourteous. Hmm. Well, what do you say?
I've not seen your like before.
Yes, I'm glad that Bingo is feeling better. We have so few visitors in Mar Talhal these days that I have only heard tales of welcoming feasts from my elder kin. Now that I have seen one for myself, I think that it is less the eating and more the recovery that brings our folks together. I love food, but whose idea was it to eat for a week? Some traditions might be a little excessive, if you ask me. Could I ask ye for one thing, Petronella? Please don't tell the Meyer I said such a thing. Yes? Oh, we do not see such excitement around here. It is good to have met Bingo, and it is a pity that you two of ye will be leaving so soon. Well then. Very well. How are you feeling now, Bingo?
I may have a little more to eat before we set forth on the road again.
Oh, you must be really better now. Your appetite's back. Do you know something? I think I may have a little bit more to eat. The tea has settled down my complaining belly somewhat, and this food is quite delicious after all. You think perhaps the folk of Martal have a departing feast and match their welcoming feast? I hope not. Don't look at me that way, my friend. I'm only teasing. Mostly teasing. Mostly. Bingo. Bingo. Still feeling fine?
Are you ready to leave Mauer Toolhouse?
Yes, I will say my goodbyes to the good folk of this village and meet you at the southern path out of the village, Petronella. Very well. Let us then head out of the village. I suppose it'll soon be time to say farewell to this place. Hello there.
What brings you to Mauer Toolhouse?
I suppose ye are no Devonian after all. Travel with care on the roads that lead from the Gloomlands. Return with Bingo some day, and ye will have a friendly greeting from Ruth to be sure. Just let's not have as large a welcoming feast, I hope.
I've not seen your like before.
We do not roam far afield from our tool house, but from time to time one of our folk will get an unusual yearning to travel and brings us news from distant lands. That is why I want to warn ye about the road to the north. Orcs, half-orcs, and other fouler sorts have made camp that way, and they allow none to pass. There may be fighting if ye try to follow the road. Take care of Bingo. Ye do not need me to say that, I know, but do it just the same, Petronella. All right, I'll do so, and don't worry, I could handle a couple of orcs and half-orcs and brigands. What do you say about that, Bingo?
Orcs on the northern road? It was good of Iola to warn us.
Yes, it was good of her to warn us, but we cannot let the fear of them keep us from continuing in our journey. I am sure of that. Let me know when you're ready to leave, and we will set our feet out once more upon the road. And who knows, we might even wind up running into a wolf or two. Yeah.
The end of Bingo's journey approaches with every step, but rumors tell of a blockade that might slow his progress along the road.
We'll have to see about this blockade. What do you know about it, Haley? When Theodore and I passed this way on the southern journey, there was a great massing of orcs and half-orcs in the ruins just ahead. We were able to slip by unnoticed, but I do not think we'll be as fortunate this time. If it does come to fighting, you should try to protect Bingo from the swords and arrows of the orcs. I will have my hands full trying to keep them from felling Theodore with a lucky stroke. Perhaps we can skirt the ruins if the numbers have increased. We will not know until we get closer. We will then have to be careful. Bingo, if the orcs are ahead, try to stay behind Petronella. When Theodore and I came this way, they seemed ready for war. I hope they don't see us. I saw an orc holding a knife in his teeth. Do not tangle with him, Bingo. Aha. What do you say, Bingo? I do not like the sound of an orc blockade, Petronella. It is one thing to squash bugs in a dragon's lair, but quite another to fight creatures such as the orcs. I do not think I'm prepared for this. I would do as Haley suggests, and let you do all the fighting. Well, I don't know. If push comes to shove, I have a feeling you're going to try it. I do not want to encounter any orcs, especially none that hold knives in their teeth. Well, there is that. Well, let's move up on ahead and see what's on the road. Well, I don't see any orcs yet, or half-orcs, or anything like it. I don't see any orcs. Where did they go? That is a good question, lady. The orcs seem to have fled the coop, and they left some treasure behind. Now my boys are in charge of this blockade. We need to pass. We can work something out, can't we, boys? We'll take all the coins you've got, and one more thing. I like that fancy purple hat. I want it. Excuse me. I have something to say. You can't just take Theodore's hat. I knew. See? Push comes to shove, he starts saying to it. Is this how you were raised? Is the Shire Rat jesting with us? You there! Will you do as we say, or is it blood spilling time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The question is, whose blood is going to be spilled? I suppose you fancy yourselves adventurers. Well, you have to give us what we want, or you'll find yourselves on the wrong side of our blades. Let me see. Yeah. Mismatched clothes and poor quality of weapons. Yeah, right. These guys look like they're more suited for doing plows than knives and swords. Probably new to banditry. Yeah. And I think I could kill every single one of them before Bingo has uncovered his eyes. So, I don't think you have any hope. You're not going to pay? Die then! Ready your weapon, boys! Just a moment, Petronella. I don't think you're in a position to talk, Hobbit. I beg your pardon, but I do think I am, and you may call me Bingo. I have been a rather long journey, and I have seen quite a lot. Is that so? You haven't seen anything deadlier than me and my boys, I wager? Not true. I have seen ferocious beasts, frightening raids, and even a dragon. Dragon? Hold it together, Will. Why does it matter? I can end your life as easily as you speak to you, Bingo. Maybe, but I have come to know something on this journey. I'm tougher than I look, and my friends are at least tough as they look. They would come to my aid, and I would come to theirs. The little fellow speaks sense, Graham. Oh, they're standing down. Whew. Did you really see a dragon? We did. It was quite impressive. Yeah, I woke it up. Thank you, Theodore. Be glad you weren't there. That there are no dragons around Bree. Why are we here, Graham? Banditry and thieving seemed easier than farming. How was I to know that this mad hobbit and his dangerous friends will come along? Staying at home would have been easier for me too. Why not find a quiet place where you could find farming once again? Is that something that we can do? Mayhap you're right. Let's go, boys. Life as a farmer is more appealing than death as a brigand. Well, we got through that one well enough. I want to thank you for letting your friends talk some sense into Graham. I wasn't certain his endeavor was going to work, and when we saw your group approaching on the road, I became convinced that we were all about to die. Our career as brigands was short-lived, but better that than our own lives being short. The orcs had abandoned this blockade by the time that we had arrived. Graham thinks something must have drawn them away, and in a hurry too. Whatever the reason, they left some plunder behind. I want you to give it to Bingo as a gift from those of us whose lives you saved today. Farewell! It may be farming for the rest of us from now on, as it should have always have been. Ooh, a treasure! You'd think they would have taken at least some of it. Yeah. Golden coins. Whee! I mean, that could have gotten them the land they needed to start farming. William wants me to have the treasure. Well, I suppose we can bring it with us. I did not do anything to deserve it, though. But its rightful owners are probably not going to come looking over for it. The orcs that collected it in the first place likely saw to that. I'm glad it did not come to bloodshed today, Petronella. It took one look at the brigands and I knew they were no match for any of us. They needed words more than they needed to suffer from the poor decision to accost us. I am ready to continue our homeward journey. Whew. I'm ready to continue. Finally in familiar lands.
We have come a long way. I can hardly believe it.
Yes, we've come a long way, and the tree-lined paths of Breland seem quite welcome in comparison to some of the lands through which we have traveled. Do you remember when we all began? Bree seemed so distant and exotic, but now it appears friendly and quaint to my eyes. This is a joyful return, but my heart is not gladdened by everything today. For Haley and Theodore have decided to take their leave of us, and we have come back to the Northlands. Well, what do you say?
I will see you again, if Theodore doesn't get me eaten by a dragon first.
Yes, goodbye, friends. I will see you again if Theodore doesn't get me eaten by a dragon. Now that I think of it, too much more of Theodore's stupidity may make that seem a mercy. Let me know if you find any hungry dragons in your further travels, Petronella, just in case. I hope I don't run into too many more of those.
I bid you and Bingo a fond farewell.
It's been quite an enjoyable journey, my friends, but there are even greater adventures that demand my attention. I may have retired from the treasure-seeking game, but I think I have had my fill of dragons. But there are surely other adventures out there, just waiting to be had. I bid you and Bingo a fond farewell. If you ever have need of journeying companion in the future, look to the most dangerous spot, and that is where you'll find me. I'm sure that is for once you said something that Haley would not disagree with, unfortunately.
I suppose every journey has to come to an end sometime.
I am sad to see them go, Petronella, but I suppose every journey has to come to an end. The end of my own journey approaches. What will we find when we return to Mickle-Delphine? We'll have to find that out in the next episode of Piney Plays The Burglar.